Is,
All right, so a little bit of Groundhog's Day. Jay, do you just want to repeat the change that you wanted to make to the approval of the July 1st agenda?
Sure. We're looking at the approval of the July 8th agenda with the modification of the executive committee report being a finance director report.
I make a motion to accept the agenda with the change. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay. Sorry, who made the motion and who seconded it? Or Jada, are you taking those notes?
Chrissy is.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, and then next is the approval of the June 10th meeting minutes.
move for approval.
I second.
Second.
Okay, we're just going to open it to the public again.
I do have another question. I should. The military. Everybody's getting confused. Ron, is the schedule is different now? I've been hearing the hours or stuff like that. Is it changed?
Nothing's changed on our end. We still run our AM midday, PM. Tri-Valley's running our 11:50.
Oh, okay,
They stopped running their AM. So it doesn't affect Rutland County.
okay,
So the times are still the same.
okay.
If you do hear something, maybe just have.
It's not you or Ron.
No, or just have them go to the TBT website.
Yeah.
Because that was where.
I think it sounds just from here or did it once.
Yeah. Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
We can. put that. Okay, anything else?
No.
All right, so V-Trans updates, Dan was not able to make this meeting. He did want to share that the new state fiscal year started July 1st. And MVRTD public transit grant is active and the capital items on the grant can be ordered. The installation of the statewide paratransit software is proceeding and Marble Valley is now scheduled to start working on its installations as of September. V-Trans is working on the final version of the statewide bus grant. This grant will help purchase new buses for MVRTD. These buses will be gas and diesel or diesel. The goal is of this grant is to bring the state bus fleet condition back into line with the state policy of no more than 20% in the fleet in less than good condition. Any questions for Dan? No? Okay. Okay, so this is now the finance director report.
Report is more of an update of where we stand. I know this is my work weekend. So we have been working on a pretty large group of improvements in the finance department. We're moving over to QuickBooks. We actually went down to see Keith over at SABT to see how he set up his QuickBooks, how he set up his allocations. And he was kind enough to share some things with him. I'm actually meeting with him again this afternoon just to get some more guidance on that. We have uploaded mostly manually all of our information from Passport into QuickBooks. So we're hoping to get up and running by next week. We don't want to go too far into the new year and have to re-enter everything. ADP is coming on board this week. We are still doing payroll and Passport, but we're going to run our first test payroll of ADP. They have been very challenging to work with. We discovered after they told us that we were okay to go ahead and use the clock-in pads, that the clock-in pads that they sent us were wrong. And they did not work with the system they sold us. So we had to go out and manually buy some new iPads that we will be installing hopefully tomorrow. So everybody can start clocking in and out. Let's see, I had a meeting with the auditors. Sarah and Jen and Christy, just when Jake was on vacation, just to get, I just wanted them to explain to me the last audit because there was things in there I wanted some detail on. And just to make sure we are online for the next audit, so we're not going to have any issues. We have made quite a few improvements over the last few months and we continue to clear up any concerns they had. So we should be, as you know, we had new auditors last year and they were very thorough. Let's put it that way. So we're working on that. Like I said, I've met with a few different district finance directors, see how it seems everybody's doing things a lot different. Matter of fact, Gina up north had actually suggested that at some point, when I get settled in, this finance directors get together and start talking about allocations to make sure we're all doing the same. So, especially with all the software we have. I think that's about it.
Just want to add to it, finance was able to close up till May.
We are almost done with May.
Almost done with May.
Yeah, we're finishing up May this week. We've already actually started on June, so we're getting there.
And just looking at the numbers based on the closure of April, we do look like we're trending well to end the
Yep.
year. Pretty on point.
Pretty on point.
Pretty on point. See where we end up. We did have some reconciliations of insurances that have already come through, so there shouldn't be any really large chunks of money that'll have to go out that we're not aware of. Each month, pretty much.
We're trying really hard not to have any surprises.
No surprises. So,
QuickBooks is gonna make our lives a lot easier to be a lot more transparent. And to be able to adjust things the way we need to adjust them to be correct.
it has a memory of its own.
Passport is one of the, I've been doing this for 40 years, and Passport is without a doubt the most difficult software I've ever dealt with.
And I don't know if we have a long-term agreement with ADP, but we've had the same challenges. So we recently just moved off to Paycom. You guys have enough change going on now, but Paycom was actually easier and more cost-effective than ADP was. So just throwing that out there. Paycom, P-A-Y-C-O-M.
Paycom, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think at this point, we're gonna stick with ADP, we're just gonna do payroll at ADP. In other words, clock in, clock out, we're gonna do totals.
Yep.
All of the stuff in the background is gonna be done in QuickBooks. And
Oh, nice.
eventually, if ADP continues down the road they're on, we may just end up doing payroll inside QuickBooks. SEBT is doing payroll in QuickBooks and not having any issues, but we'll see how it works out, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, ADP has just been tough.
We're kind of too
tough to
far
work
in
with.
and, to go backwards and like I said, we've changed the structure of exactly what we're gonna do inside ADP. We're just gonna actually just use them as a payroll company, because right now, we're doing all our taxes filings manually. So the main thing ADP is gonna do for us is take all that burden off of the finance office to do the 941s, to do all of the garnishments and everything like that automatically for us. So.
Great.
And all we'll be doing is journal entries.
Else on the finance director report? Okay, we're gonna move to the executive director report. The MTI grant that Dan had announced, I believe at our last meeting, was released on 6/20. Tyler's been gathering supportive details on that. This is focused mainly around the recruitment and retention of volunteers, but also is their flex funds. So there's more available in the application than just that. So we'll be evaluating that over this next month and getting that submitted in a timely fashion. Some demo updates. Jen and Ron went back to the drawing board with Jay and Benny and myself were also in the preliminary meeting where we had discussed breaking out the demo from the groundwork and the fencing. So that is what we did. And resubmitted an RFP that had showing 6 people with 2 bids at the end. Just in this last week, we actually, today, the signed award goes out to Steady Property Maintenance. So they'll be doing the demo portion of the work, hoping that we're going to see the RFP for the groundwork be produced by Jay shortly. Jen, is there any updates on that?
No, no updates on that. Right now, I think he's focusing on securing fencing
Okay,
first, and then we'll move on to the groundwork.
and that's the rental of the fence?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, that's what we were thinking, but I think we're gonna look at all options.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever's more, you know, it's the way, yeah.
I saw him send out, what, six potential fence companies? And this might be rent to own or just write it up and then maneuver it
Right.
around, says
I
he.
think we're just gonna look at all options just to see which is the most cost effective.
We've been having this, semi-steady flow of unauthorized traffic, both with vehicles and foot traffic on the properties here. We've notified to all the staff to make sure not to engage with folks who are here if something seems to be aggravated or concerning, to make sure that they reach out to the local police department and not engage. But otherwise, we do have about $163,000 left from this admin building bill. So we're looking at utilizing a portion of that to add surveillance to the properties here. So that's, I'd say we've been identifying some of the previous work that we did so far, right? We reached out to staff, she gave what she had, and that's where we're at with that right now. So more to come on surveillance. Since I wrote this, Patty has made some action around more of the work around that FY 24 audit. We did receive our official letter. We definitely need to have a clean FY 25 audit, as well as resolve the material findings from the FY 24. But we're in control and ahead of the invoicing and have a plan to stay on target with invoicing. So we're not really concerned about not getting prepays. Dan had shared with me that there could be in the future that prepays might not be a thing, but once a year anyway. So maybe it's something we just have to get used to. So that's kind of how we're seeing it this time. Update on the letter of support. Last board meeting, we had discussed the letter of support to ask the state to take back the low-no funds with no responsibility of us to have to spend it on EV infrastructure and vehicles. And we don't have that letter. All the staff created a compilation of the justification of that. Still doing more work on research and making sure that we've exhausted all avenues. So part of that justification will be, we've looked at everything. This is where we're at. I did talk to Dan about it a little. He said that the funds were being obligated this week. So if we did want to go from low to no, that we would be able to resubmit as soon as the obligation, the obligation of funds has been taken care of on their part. So more to come on that. We will be getting a letter of support. VEIC did reach out to us and asked where we were at because they're contracted from the state. So just shared with them that we don't think we could even spend not even a quarter of that, $3.4 million. Finally, Sunday service is being examined. Jen, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So Sunday service is the Fairhaven route in the RKC. We have been talking about Sunday service for quite some time. We were hoping to eliminate Sunday service for the summer, only, because winter obviously we can't. Fairhaven route, we could justify very easily of eliminating, the RKC in the summer. The numbers were a little higher than I had anticipated. So I really wanted to look at the timing of each stop of where the rides are coming from, because it could be that they're just, getting on a Trend Center and getting off at, Dunkin' Donuts on Woodstock Avenue. So we have a new software in place called Swiftly, and we are able to do per stop by time, how many people are getting on and off, which would be very helpful for me to then look at the whole RKC, because I have a feeling that most of the riders on Sunday are not going all the way up to the mountain. I think it's local, but that's just a guess as of right now. So obviously, we're not going to make it happen for this summer, but I would like to work all year and have the public hearings so that at the beginning of the summer season, we would be able to eliminate the Sunday service if I can justify the RKC route, which there's more to come on that. I also would like, I don't know if now's the time to talk about, the late runs, even during the winter. Running after 10 p.m. at night on the mountain, it's becoming, I would say, a safety issue. Some of our drivers don't want to drive it. It's rough up there. Plowing was an issue last year. I can let Ron talk about as far as operations go. But I think running until, 12:45 at night or 12:45 in the morning, is difficult, to say the least. And, the dispatcher leaves at midnight, so for 45 minutes, those drivers are on their own coming down the mountain. It's just something that I would like to talk about. And I'm doing on my end, I'm doing the cost. I'm trying to figure out the costs, the ridership, so I'll have a justification. Obviously, I'll have that all prepared for when I want to present it, but I just wanted to at least put the bug out there that it's something I think we should think about.
Chemo had also reached out to us and said, hey, could you do some as late as midnight, 1 o'clock service, and with already identifying the risk and the the lack of interest of driving that due to safety and the timing alone. And, we're supporting those late night routes with staff here and keep the staff till midnight. And then still that person comes in later than midnight. So that safety and support is, it's a phone call, and that's not enough. And so we had told the Okemo at this time, we're not gonna move that avenue, as we were already identifying that that's a rough time. So.
And it's really dangerous up in, that's a lot of crazy riders passing and all that.
And, when it is a snowstorm and it's cold and it's late at night, the plows want the road. They want to be able to keep it clear for emergencies, and we support that, right? Because people take public transportation, that's better, but. So that's, this morning, the downtown partnership had reached out to Marble Valley. They held a meeting this morning, preliminary discussions around the, information, for the infrastructure, and of the hotel and the building of the hotel, but also closing down of the Center Street, Whale Street, and I think there was some hindrance to West possibly as well, but mainly on Wales and Center, in the underground work that they're doing to rejuvenate those water lines that are down under there. So that was good. It was a good showing. Basically got information on it was a preliminary meeting to say, here's where information's gonna flow, here's our plans, and here's all the subcommittees. So more to come on that, but at least we're now on board with being communicated with around this, so that's good. So that's it. Any questions, comments?
When is this gonna start? That's the issue.
Center Street, it sounded like they weren't uncertain exactly when, because they're still working through the funding piece and such, but, they're going to start in August, September, fencing in the pit. I don't know what they call it, that.
Yeah, you're right.
Is it, that's what they call it, the pit? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And then, they'll start doing it, but it's gonna stay there, and then I think in the spring of 26 is when they're gonna break ground on Center Street. And start doing that. It's still an option whether or not they're going to absolutely take out the whole street with only pedestrian traffic, and then do one line at a time. Or I'm sorry, and shut down the whole thing and do all 3 lines, or they'll do it one line at a time to keep flow.
I think that's gonna confuse the business.
Oh, the businesses were there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna do the best they can to communicate and reduce, hindrance to businesses. Years.
May I speak?
Yes.
So, the city's got 90% of their funding for Center Street. So we are on schedule. So Center Street will start next spring. After the bond vote in November, if the voters vote for the other 3 million, we're ready to roll. I believe we're not gonna have a problem there, but so we gotta get ready for next spring when we're digging the street up and the hotel are both going at the same time. So get ready. Also, we've already had a meeting with the hotel people and the city. And we're gonna have a meeting with the state on the garage, because the garage has now become a very important piece to this development, which is a good thing for us. So the mayor is gonna sit down with the state and figure out what the next steps are with the garage. Cleaning, hours of operation, security is a major issue with the hotel. It's also going to be a major issue with us. We need to get full-time security in that garage up until midnight, because the homeless are just constantly in there. We're also putting some ordinances in so they can't feed birds on city properties. So we're going to solve that problem. And she has a no trespassing and not to be in the garage, so we're not gonna have that issue with birds anymore. And the fire department's gone in there to hose it down, but I guess we gotta go back in there again because it's a mess again. So when we have that meeting, it's been put in the committee, because I lost my cool that, this is taking too long. I need some, movement here and solve who's supposed to do what, where and when, and get the state involved, and get a decisive answer from the state, what their intentions are for that parking garage. Either the city controls the whole thing or the state controls the whole thing. We can't have this half and half stuff because it's not working. It's making our life with Marble Valley miserable. It doesn't need to be that way. And it needs to be clean all the time because we're gonna have a lot of tourists going in and out of there. Not just on the ground floor, but the upper floors also. So also talking about maybe a new contract for someone to manage the garage. So those ideas are all on the table, ready to roll in committee. So it's actually been put in the Alderman's committee. So when we have that meeting, I will have Jade be there as a representative of Marble Valley. So she is on top of it with us.
Thanks, Billy. Also, the mayor I had a moment with him after that meeting and he's on board for pretty much any way to move this forward, including, the city taking that on, including all of it, all the resources we need.
Right. So what we're looking at, we just hired the RRA director. He is from St. Albans. He's the town manager, which is excellent. He's going to come in and give us a briefing on how they handle the garage at St. Albans, because the city runs that actually, they own it and run it. So we'll get some information from him on how they're doing it in St. Albans, and they actually make money at it. So with the new hotel coming in as a new player, there's going to be a lot more activity going on in there. So plus Paramount going crazy across the street with a 300-seat conference center on the 3rd floor. So movement is happening. So it's going to be forcing the state to come to the table and say, okay, we got to solve this problem. And I'm glad you talked to the mayor. So good.
Yeah, and I really want to reiterate and hope that Marble Valley Regional Transit District is seen as a supportive player in this. You know, we can help with the detours, we can help with the shuttling, we can help with the changes necessary to make that flow as best as possible. So if you want to bring that forward.
This is actually a good thing to have. I have this development coming in, so we just got to work with it and work with it every day. That's the issue here. The information's got to get out to the public at least every other day on what's open, what's closed, how to get in, how to get out, what Marble Valley's going to be doing, where parking is going to be and not going to be. That's going to be very important information. We're using the same tools that Brandon did during their 2-year construction. I think that model works pretty well. So we're going to adopt that model, and with the mayor's office and the communication, they're going to hire some communication person under the TIF district to make sure this information gets in and out every other day. So that's it.
That
Sorry, Billy, you think maybe I could get added to those meetings for the transit center stuff?
Absolutely.
I think everybody.
I wanna
should
make
be
sure you're
there
there. I
because spent
made
the whole
sure-
time out, everybody there.
I made sure we have the committee meeting, and now it's been put in committee, so the board is actually involved. To have the players, including you and Jade there. So, because I think you guys are a major piece of that project or that facility. So
Yeah, I just think I spent more time there than the city or the state or anybody, so.
right. And we're talking about paint, we're talking about redecorating, we're talking about a number of things to make that thing look presentable for the Killington customers that are coming up and down and the employees coming up and down, and plus the hotel people going in and out. It's got to look good, or else it's not going to work.
Okay. All right, so thank you. And moving on to the approval of the cost of living increase, back when we made budget, we had added in a 3% cost of living increase to start on July 1st. We're, moving that back as necessary, until we have approval from the board. So, officially asking if the board would approve a 3% cost of living increase to all employees at Marble Valley.
Make the motion to improve wages by 3% for the cost of living increase as presented.
Second.
Me too.
Sorry, second, I just
Second.
There was a tie to that. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that these costs are included in the budget already.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Chris, now you just ask if there's any discussion
yeah.
or debate, and then if there's none, I move to a vote.
Any discussion or debate? All right, move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, approved. Motion approved. And Jay, do you know, do we normally vote on, or I guess in the past, has the board voted on that? I would just assume if the budget was approved and that was included in the budget.
That was my take on it too, but it
Okay.
had been like that in the past, so I wanted to have that discussion that if everything in the budget is approved, should it come back to the board, or is it seen as approved when it's in the budget?
Okay.
I see it put in the budget earlier because we try to anticipate what's gonna happen today, you know, to do it, but we still end up having to vote, I think, myself anyways, on it afterwards to make sure that we still have enough money in there. This time we're good. But sometimes you might wanna raise it to 4% or 5%. You don't know yet, you know, but we guessed at 3%. It's worked out for us.
Yeah.
And also say that the state had to come back and really cut the budget.
Right.
Say, oh,
Because we were guessing back then what we were gonna get from each organization, you know, ahead of time.
yeah, so move forward to approve the same number, or the
Right.
same figure,
Right.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, great point.
okay.
I know it's repetitious, but I think it's a good move because it protects us, protects Jade, also protects us with the state, that we're aware these things are happening. Because I know with other organizations, things can get out of control real quick, and this way the board's is informed as we go. So,
Agreed.
Thank you. Okay, so the last item is to adjourn.
Yeah, is there any other business? Do we need to vote to adjourn? Can I move to adjourn? Okay, so I
You
can
just
move to
you just
adjourn the
make a
meeting.
motion.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
can
move
just
to
say we're
adjourn the
adjourned.
meeting. We're adjourned
Right.
at 10:51 a.m.
thank you very much. I
Yeah.
apologize for being late. I'm at the camp up here in Mount North, so I'm on the road today, so very sorry that I was late.
All good. Thanks for making it, Billy.
Well, let it go this night.
Thank you guys.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Oh, no.